art. But I find the perfect place by the water to get a lay of the land. Istanbul is the only city in the world that spans 2 continents, straddling the busy Bosphorus Strait between the Sea of Marmara and the Black Sea.
What an incredible spot. You've got the continent of Europe on one side and we're on Asia on the other. In fact, I think you can see every single landmark of Istanbul. I don't think I'm going to go very far. I'm just going to stay right here.
The calmness of the morning prayer call is quickly replaced with the bustling sounds of this lively metropolis.
Pomegranate?
Oh my goodness. Oh, that is beautiful.
Exploring the European side, the streets are alive with colour, cheer and a rich culture spanning thousands of years.
Chilli for mother-in-law. Do you think I should get some chilli for my mother-in-law? Wonder what that means. They're like works of art, aren't they? They're all Turkish delight. Special handmade Turkish delight. Honey, pistachio and fruits.
From Turkish delight to Turkish kebabs. And of course, to kick the day off, there's no going past a good Turkish coffee here in the historical heart of Sultanahmet in the old city.
I've heard you're the best coffee in Istanbul.
Duydum ki sen diyor en iyi kahveyi yapan adamsın diyor.
Show me, Mustafa.
Nasıl yaptığını göster diyor.
Yeah.
Mustafa has been making Ottoman-style coffee for the past 40 years, and he says his brew must sit over hot coals for precisely 9 minutes. We take a seat at the table and I'm warmly welcomed into Istanbul.
Oh, Turkish delight, look at this.
That's full service.
And what does it mean to Turkish people to have this occasion?
For us, it's very important because we are Turkish people usually are not alcohol people.
Yeah.
They have more like tradition of tea. Coffee is very important because this is from our grand family, like 3,000 years old culture.
3,000 years of culture of having coffee and sitting here and outside the Blue Mosque and the history. It's just, you can feel it.
Taste. At least we are central of the history.
Yeah.
Surrounded by tourists, I head to the gardens right in the middle of some of the city's most loved landmarks to meet our guide Alpa, who'll be showing us around Turkey for the next week.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you. How are you?
Good. Istanbul.
Well, what do you think? We have a beautiful mosque here, the symbol of the city.
Unbelievable.
I mean, one of the symbols, the Blue Mosque, which dates back to the 17th century beginning. And on this side, you see the Hagia Sophia.
Yep.
Dates back to the 6th century.
Yeah, and all these people, there's so many tourists. It's like everyone from all over the world.
Yeah, it's the high season now.
Yeah.
Lots of Europeans, Americans, Australians around. Yeah. We have a saying, 70 different people from 70 different nations.
I love that.
As we explore, we're warmly welcomed by the locals.
Thank you. I love this. Thank you.
Very authentic, yeah?
My daughter would like that flute.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, maybe later on.
Ah, scarves. Yeah. And all the people and the buzz.
Well, it's a bit noisy.
It's wonderful, isn't it, alive?
While Turkey is in fact a secular state, 98% of the population is Muslim, with around 85,000 mosques in the country. The Blue Mosque is one of the city's most famous and largest tourist attractions.
The light, it's just stunning.
It took 10,000 people around 6 to 7 years to build.
Gee, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Gosh. Keep my head up. You can't not look up, can you?
Yeah. Look, all those tiles on the second floor. That's the one giving its name to the mosque, the Blue Mosque. Yeah.
Why? Why do they have blue tiles in particular?
Well, in those days, that was the fashion. That's the fashion color in the 17th century. And some of the tiles you see on the second floor, that with the tulips. The tulip is the national flower for the Turkish people.
And so how do you feel when you're in here?
I feel peaceful.
Everywhere you visit, there's another chapter in history. We literally spent 3 days walking and walking.
This is the oldest remain, which dates back to 1500 before Christ.
There's the Hagia Sophia, a former Greek Orthodox church turned mosque, now museum.
It's like a celebration of the history of the city, isn't it?
You're right. Not only a church or a mosque, at the same time, different cultures, different civilizations.
The Basilica Cistern, the magnificent underground aqueduct masterfully built by the Romans. Then the beautiful Topkapi Palace, built in the 15th century and home to the Ottoman sultans.
I bet the Sultan came out here and sat and thought about the world, looking at that view.
And of course, I couldn't go past the Grand Bazaar and the Spice Market for, well, a little shopping.
Think we could get this home? I love these lights.
As the sun sets over the Sea of Marmara, the streets light up like a Christmas tree. And I'm lured into this charming family-run restaurant by the smell and excitement of this classic Ottoman dish.
I'm glad one of those travellers killed us.
I don't know where to start.
Oh, I think so, yes indeed. How much have we got left?
This is called amphora pot kebab, and apparently they've been cooking this all afternoon.
I like that.
And not only that, but they've been making this for over 600 years, and you can feel that tradition just sitting here.
As my time in Istanbul comes to an end, down by the docks, the MS Island Sky is waiting for our special cruise on the Aegean Sea. Now this is where my real adventure begins.
Here we go.
Welcome to APT's boutique expedition ship, the MS Island Sky.
Oh, wow. Look at this. Hello.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Please watch your step here.
Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you very much. Cheers. Oh, gosh, look at this. Ooh. Oh, my gosh. Have a look. How about this? Gorgeous. Oh, how cosy. Oh, I tell you what. Oh, it's going to be a very comfortable adventure at sea. I'm really looking forward to the rocking of the ship as I sleep. There's nothing like it.
But I don't get too relaxed, for in the lounge, the party's underway.
Nice to meet you all. Gosh, here's to the adventure. The mood in here is unbelievable. Everyone's been here for 5 minutes and it's just like, woof.
It's very busy in the background and I can hear the excitement in people's voices because these small ships are quite new to Australia. We've been used to the river cruising, but this is really, really exciting.
It's like an adventure.
Yes, it is.
Adventure sailing is terribly exciting to me.
It is, yeah. Everyone seems really excited, don't they?
They do, yes. You can tell by the smile on their face when they walked on board.
Kind of get that real buzz.
Yes, you do.
As day turns to night, we leave the shores of this beautiful city.
How amazing is this? You can see the Blue Mosque lit up like a postcard. Oh, this is just unbelievable. You can see the wall of the palace all along here. Goodbye, Istanbul.
We cruise south through the night, across the Sea of Marmara and into the Dardanelles Strait.
Good morning. How about this? Got a tugboat taking us into this little portside town of Çanakkale. We're going to get off the boat and we'll take a little 40-minute drive to the ancient city of Troy.
For today, it seems only appropriate that it's a rather bleak, blustery day in an area that's been home to many famous battles. First up is the ancient city of Troy, surrounded by piles upon piles of rocks. The journey is truly fascinating and rather complex.
You've really got to use your imagination here, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Piece all the bits together and all the stories you've read about and seen in that famous movie.
Yeah, just like the puzzles.
Yeah.
And this is where the Temple of Athena, which was built by the order of Alexander the Great.
Really?
In the 4th century before Christ in origin.
So many of these famous names like Alexander the Great.
Yeah.
Walking through the grounds, we're stepping through 7 civilizations. There are 9 cities on top of each other, dating back 5,000 years.
This is the walls of the city because it laid under the silt, the soil for many centuries.
And so how many civilizations were here?
Well, 7 different civilizations and 9 cities on top of each other with 41 different layers.
9 cities?
Yeah.
So all over the different chapters of time?
Yeah. From the 3rd millennium before Christ till to the 6th century AD.
And so this was a major city in its time, wasn't it?
Yes,
The city of Troy was a trading route.
you're right.
Another layer to the story. Troy II.
Yeah, the 2nd and the 3rd, which dates back to the 2,500 years before Christ.
So how many years ago is that?
That
3.
will be like 4,500 years.
Yeah.
While this ancient city is filled with so many stories, you can even see evidence of devastating earthquakes, the most famous story is that of the Trojan War that lasted 10 years. According to legend, it was all over the love of a woman, Helena. And it was right here on this bridge that the famous Trojan horse was masterfully left by the Greeks.
Well, when the Greeks realized they cannot conquer the city, they had a very bright idea to build a wooden horse, as the horse was the symbol of Poseidon, the god of the sea. And they just left it in front of the gate. And they knew that the Trojans cannot refuse the gift, because that was the symbol of Poseidon, and that was the gift to Athena. So 20 brave Greek soldiers coming out of the horse.
They were hidden in the horse?
Yeah. They opened the doors and let the other Greeks to come in, and they conquered the city.
And so goes the saying, beware of Greeks bearing gifts.
Yeah. That's what Homer says.
From a battle that's hard to imagine to one that's so close to home, the temperatures drop even further for a story that's forever burnt into the soul of Australia. We've taken the ferry across the Dardanelles to the Gallipoli Peninsula, where the Battle of Gallipoli took place 100 years ago. It's the first time I've ever been here, and I've never been more emotionally stirred than taking this walk along Anzac Cove.
You see the water lapping up, and it makes you really think about how it would have been on that day. It's just hard to believe. And when I look up here and you see those famous ranges, and you think about the boats that came in here on the water and the men that were running in, you can feel it. It's quite a place, isn't it?
While I have no relatives that fought here, the story of the Anzacs feels so personal. As I wander past the headstones, a flag sits proudly, the names so familiar. I challenge anyone that wouldn't be moved by this statement from Ataturk, the general who led Turkey into becoming a republic in 1933.
Those heroes that shed their blood and lost their lives, you are now lying in the soil of a friendly country, therefore rest in peace. There is no difference between the Johnnies and the Mehmets to us where they lie side by side. Here in this country of ours, you, the mothers who sent their sons from faraway countries, wipe away your tears. Your sons are now lying in our bosom and are in peace. After having lost their lives on this land, they have become our sons as well.
Up at Lone Pine, the roll call of soldiers seems to go on forever.
Hard to find words really, isn't it?
Yeah. Numerous headstones here. May they all rest in peace.
And how do you feel being here?
I feel sorry. I have a respect to those people. They fought for their country. They are buried here as you read the speech of Atatürk in 1934. So they fight for this land. Respect.
Such a waste, isn't it? On both sides.
You're right. But sometimes we have to think with the mentality in 1915. I mean, the atmosphere, the mood, the desires in those days, a lot changed.
And so, Susan, how are you feeling being here?
Oh, it's the most remarkable place. It's incredibly emotional to think that it was such an important part of Australia, why Australia is the country they are today. And I just can't help thinking of the young men, even boys, looking at the gravestones. You know, some of these men were 16, 17, 18 years of age, and they came the other side of the world and ultimately gave the ultimate price and gave up their lives. So you can just feel that here. It's quite a spiritual place. And I think every Australian should at some stage, if they're able to come here just to see exactly what occurred and to pay their respects.
Not far from the memorial at Lone Pine, we've moved to the other side of the hill where you can see the Turkish trenches. Today, it's home to Turkish cemeteries and memorials.
And they went all along the peninsula.
Yeah, surrounding the hilltop.
Gosh, it's hard to get your head around, isn't it? How they would have been feeling as the Anzacs were coming up these hills. And so what happened? So they came up here.
So as a result, they couldn't defeat the Turks. They couldn't capture the land, and they had to go.
And then they had to go.
Yeah. But what is nice, after many years, now you're coming and your people. That's good. And not to fight, but for peace.
Yeah. Here to peace.
Back on board the MS Island Sky, we debrief in the comfort of the lounge with fellow passengers and contemplate the region's rich history.
I just feel so honoured and so proud to be an Australian, to know that these men and women 100 years ago left our shores to battle a battle to give us the freedom that we've got. We're pretty blessed.
A few days at sea, and I barely know what day it is. We've all made so many wonderful friends.
Kevin and Glenda.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
How about this?
Mind-blowing.
Next week, we continue our adventures in Turkey.
It's like they're ushering us along for a safe passage. Oh, it's something else, isn't it, to be cruising? It's like you've got the open water, the fresh air. We're passing such beautiful towns along the way. The history here in Turkey is just incredible.
And cruise over the border to the magical islands of Greece for an adventure in paradise.
It's like another port, another adventure awaits.
We've just been swimming around wondering how many millions of years it took to carve this grotto out. It's just heaven.